Her Back is directed by the Filippo brothers. Is that how you say their names? I don't know. I'm not going to Google it, but they directed Talk to Me, which was a very surprising and honestly really fun horror movie that came out in 2022, I believe. I really had a fun time with that movie. It is like oddly gross and terrifying, but it had this element of fun in its concept that I really loved. I thought it was shot really well. I think everything about it just was really, really well executed and really felt like a strong vision, which is like so awesome that these guys are YouTubers. Here is their follow-up. Now, obviously, their sophomore outing for any director is terrifying, particularly when your first one is so successful. So I was very, very curious to see what they would do. And this one very much still feels like them, but it's a lot darker, a lot more grim, and a lot less fun. And I will say the Talk to Me concept is so much fun. This movie goes a little bit more down the route of conventional horror, but thankfully that their craft is so well and their attention to detail is so sharp, it still feels like high-grade horror film. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm watching this cliche just getting through it type of B-grade horror film. It really still feels like I'm watching one of the better horror films that I've seen in a while, but even though the script isn't necessarily doing everything for that, and that's one of my favorite things about the movie. It might be my favorite thing about the movie. This movie is not necessarily scary, it's just super cringeworthy. There are so many moments of things on screen that make you go, oh my god, this is gross, oh my god. Like, if you have like sensory issues, like I'll just say one big thing about me is teeth. I don't like teeth chipping. I don't like the sound of teeth going bad, or it just bothers me. And this movie has like a scene that was like meant for me to like want to die. Yeah. Also, if you have a problem with violence against children, don't watch this movie. Just don't do it. Don't do that to yourself, because this movie does not care. I've never seen a movie more brutal on children than this film. I could be wrong. Maybe I haven't seen enough films that are brutal with children, but I have to say this is one of the most like, oh my god, I can't believe they just did that and got away with it, and was allowed to be put into a public film I've ever been while watching a film. But part of me is like, I love that for it. Like, I know that's so weird to say, because like, hey, it's kids, and that's why it's kind of hard to review this movie, because there's so much of it, and it makes you feel weird for like even saying, hey, this is a good movie, and it's just littered with child torture. It's so hard to draw that fine line between, is it bad that you can even say that you like this, because it's so disturbing at moments. But at the end of the day, this movie does have a message. It has actually really solid character. While the story might feel a little bit B-list, what doesn't feel B-list is the characters, their arcs, and the performances. All the performances in this movie are fantastic. Like, even in Talk to Me, there wasn't really any really bad performance there. And this is horror films. This is B-list horror when it comes to budget. Like, it's high-class horror if you ask me, but when it comes to budget, this is, kind of middle of the range, not, Halloween, anything. Like, so the acting isn't always supposed to be amazing, but in both Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, the acting is fantastic. And I really have to applaud the Filippo brothers. I hope I'm saying their name right, my god. Particularly Sally Hawkins in this movie. She's just fantastic. Everyone's talking about her coming out of this, and I have to agree that her performance here is just really, really haunting and really well delivered and really sharply written. And that's what I wish the story here was a little bit more original. The whole thing is that the movie doesn't spell anything out for you, so you can only assume a little bit at some points of what exactly happened. I mean, I think the movie does give you enough to kind of get an idea of what's happening in this film when it comes to, like, the supernatural element or the weirdness of what the movie's even just trying to do. It doesn't spell anything out for you, and I like that, and I really respect that about with the script. It's just once I saw what it was, and even though if they didn't spell it out, it still feels like a little kind of like, okay, I've seen that before. The performances are fantastic. The direction, the camera work is all super haunting, original, and one of my favorite things about the movie too is, and I wish that they dove a little bit deeper into this, and there's one character who's half blind, or kind of blind, or mostly blind, I don't remember exactly, but basically they have a really hard time seeing. And whenever we have these scenes, they use shallow focus and they do a lot of close-ups with her hand. And so you see things out of focus, and it's really following her, but from her perspective, because her biggest sense is her, when she's touching through a house or turning the corner, like, what does the texture of the wall feel like? And when we're focused on that and we can see things happening in the background that are very haunting, they utilize it really well for tension building, but I would have leaned into that a little bit more. In fact, I maybe would have even had a segment from the perspective of that shot so we can really feel like we're in her shoes. And that's something that, out of all the things in this movie, I wish they dove deep into that a little bit more, because I thought that was a brilliant idea, and they only kind of scratched the surface. But yeah, at the same time, that does feel like a nitpick, because the execution on everything else is also really, really good. The fun thing about this movie is, like, as I'm reviewing it right now, my opinion is growing about it as I'm talking about what they did and what they were able to accomplish with what they had. And that's why I'm liking it more as I'm talking about it. You have to remember that this isn't necessarily a pleasant movie to watch. It is definitely not one you're going to gonna be jumping for joy, even if the movie is really good, which it is. You're not gonna be jumping out of theater like, yeah, I just watched an amazing movie. I mean, maybe you will if you love horror that much. For me, I was like, yeah, that was really good, but my god, that was dark. And I didn't really realize how much I liked the movie until I actually sat down and talked into this microphone for the last 6.5 minutes. So yeah, anyways, I want to give Bring Her Back an 8.4 out of 10. Maybe a rewatch will give it that 8.5 or up, so I can give it 4.5. But right now, I think it's a solid 4. It could go up because that's what happened with Talk to Me. I think I gave it a low 8 the first time, and upon a rewatch, I definitely have that at 4.5 now. So yeah. Anyways, comment down below what you guys thought of Bring Her Back. Did it live up to your expectations of Talk to Me? How do you think it compared to Talk to Me? Do you like it more? Do you like it better? For me, I would say they're about on par because my opinion coming out of both of them are kind of the same. Like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.